Hello, welcome pen friends. Welcome to Pen Chat number 5. I've been doing this for quite a while now. Once a month I've been coming on and talking about how it's going with me having my pen fast or no buy. It's a lot of people recognize it better by those terms, but so this video kind of recognizes a shift where I'm going to continue with the pen chats, but not every single one will I be in a no buy or a pen fast. So, I have kind of entered into a little bit of a period of buying, which I'll explain. And but I'd like to keep this because once a month coming on and talking about how things are going with hobby spending, but also with other aspects of it, and even bringing up comments. It's been great. I have felt like it grounded me and helped me communicate with you all, with other people in the hobby, and we find common ground, and it's just been really wonderful. So I want to keep it up. So for those of you who haven't watched, the series kicked off during my fast. I actually went 3 months without buying any pens or inks or stationery. The only thing I bought during that time was stamps. And I did go to the Dollar Tree and bought a bunch of index cards for a project I was doing. And that was money that was sort of earmarked for the channel, which, if I hadn't had my fall, you would already have the video that I'm working on for that project. But I did fall about 10, 11 days ago, so I got sidetracked with with finishing my really cool book that I'm reading up there. It's kind of heavy to hold when you're kind of injured. So anyway, I'm afraid if I don't stick to my notes, I'm going to get really rambly here. But so this is the 5th one. And so if you want to look back on those, they're still here and I've playlisted them. That's a pretty good thing. Yeah, and so today I'm going to talk about how this past month went. And right off the bat, I'm going to tell you that my pen fast ended on August 23rd. I'm proud that I had 3 really good months, but I also kind of my goal was to finish it through September 30th, and I thought I could probably make it. But then a couple of things came up. So the first thing that came up was then I got a notification of a product that was back in stock that I absolutely love, that I just couldn't get my hands on for a long, long time. Somehow or another, money wasn't available when the product was, and then it seemed like forever, and I thought they might not bring it back. They're basically just fountain pen friendly index cards with rounded corners, dot grid, everything that I like. And so I thought, if I had money in my pen account from the ad revenue, and I thought if I don't get them, I am going to be disappointed. I'm not going to have them, and I like to have them on hand. So I did order those. And then the really big news came out that Pilot had discontinued my favorite magenta pink ink. And I thought, oh dear, that's awful. So I went directly to my bottles. Now I've already run through samples of it, and then I ran through a 15 ml bottle, and I went to my big bottle thinking, well, maybe I have enough, and really I'll just have to transition to another ink. But it was really low. It was really low for knowing that this is it, for this ink. And yes, I have other pink inks, but I love Pilot inks better than anything else. Anyway, why am I justifying? That's what happened. It was discontinued. I dragged my feet, tried to talk myself out of it. I waited, and I waited so long that I ended up having to order, from a different place. I was seeing it in stock, but I should have known it was going to go pretty fast. The ripple effect of people realizing they weren't going to be able to get it anymore. But I was really grateful to find a bottle at Choupei, and so I got it from them. And then I think this next thing was just because I'd already broken my pen fast. So we'll talk about it more kind of as the video goes on, because I have some overall general thoughts about it too. And I'm not here to beat myself up. I'm just here to be like real transparent about what happened in terms of my project here. So I fell hard for a Lamy ink that I got in as a sample from a pen friend. And so I ended up ordering that, even though it didn't appear to be in danger yet of being unavailable, but it is one of those limited edition ones. But with Lamy, there's usually a little bit longer runway to to be able to get their things, unless it happens to be what we went through with Lamy Dark Lilac and that pen. That was a pretty rapid seller, I think, and that was just as I was coming into the hobby. So I ended up paying more than I should when I wanted to get that Lamy Dark Lilac Safari. So those are the three things, and they totaled less than $60. And so I didn't break the bank, and it didn't, and by any means, exceed what I had in my pen ad revenue for this channel account. But that's what I did. And before we kind of like go back into that, I wanted to go over the comments, because it's so interesting, the comments that came from Pen Chat number 4, and how they kind of relate. And this time I tried to make sure that I kind of picked a main theme to kind of make sure why I picked them. Okay, so the first one, the theme is delay. And delay is so much a part of actual intermittent fasting. You're not setting yourself up saying, I'm not going to eat. You're saying, this is a window where I'm not going to eat. And so you're just delaying. And you can make plans, you can know what's upcoming, or even, special occasions, things that you're going to want to eat. And it's the same thing with buying. So I just loved Wasky Squirrel's comment. It's a little bit long, but I'm going to read it. I may have snipped part of it. I don't think I did, though, because this one was really good, and it kind of related to index cards, which made me wish I'd gone back and read the comment again. I had already replied to it before I ordered my cards. But anyway, he says, what I found helps online is to let it sit in a cart for a few weeks. I used a lot of index cards recently on a project and was feeling like I needed to replenish. Well, no, I still have index cards left over, as I realized after letting my cart sit for a while. When the collection gets smaller, I'll replace. And you made me think about the quality I need. These are for research purposes and eventually an outline. Maybe the cheap ones sold, even in my little town, would be good enough. Stationery is my Achilles heel. So yeah, it's my Achilles heel too. And apparently I'm really addicted to index cards. The reason I like the ones that I ordered with those rounded corners and they're thicker and they're fountain pen friendly, I do use those in my little pen pal, it's a little recipe box type thing with all my pen pals. They're all divided by first names. Like, instead of using last names, I just put them in there by their first name, and I have the address and little notes that I might take. So I like a stronger index card for that. And I had used I think they're called Clairefontaine Ex Compia or something like that. I'm probably mispronouncing. But I didn't have any decent ones left in the house, and the only thing keeping me from ordering these before was they weren't available. So, but again, I definitely had index cards, so it's all relative. And I do fall back on that delay concept all the time. Again, sometimes things are not in stock, and then they are, and so your timing is tricky. And I recognize that, and I don't want to be, just stumbling over my own feet when, they're available and you like them. It's a proven thing. So, but next up, the next one is the power of marketing. So this comment came from Carol Ann 3017. And I did cut this comment down just a little. She says, right now I have an overwhelming desire to buy all of Van Diemen's Feline series. I want to buy it to acknowledge the gorgeous artwork on the boxes, the beautiful descriptions, such as the ink called Purr, a deliciously warm-toned ink inspired by a cat's contentment. Who writes this stuff? I want to buy. Yeah, this is classic. I mean, I fall for that kind of stuff quite often myself. The names of the inks and the feelings that it evokes. Like, I'm trying to think. There's some inks in the Ferris Wheel Press line, Autumn and Auburn or something like that. And just, Algonquin Maple. It makes me think of home. It makes me think of fall, my favorite season in Vermont. And, yeah, they know what they're doing, and they're beautiful inks too. But we should be really careful about getting samples and understanding too about the marketing, the power of marketing, because it's always there and it works. And yeah, the beautiful boxes, the artistic expression on the boxes is just amazing on some of these inks. So that was definitely a reminder that, we know what we're up against, kind of. So, okay, then the last one is directly relating to the fear of missing out. And this was from Blush and Blue. And they say, this is the time where it gets tough with FOMO, fear of missing out. With all the new planners and pens coming out now and around Christmas, yikes, much strength to us all, LOL. And then I snipped, I guess I edited out the rest. But yes, definitely, 'tis the season, and it starts quite early, and it really ramps up, I think, in November, right? November, December. I seem to have a really strong ability January, February, and March to not make any purchases in the hobby. I'm good at that. And so, and it's probably because it approaches spring, and a lot of times I'm saving for a trip. So that's, that may be why for me. But I do find as fall comes in and all of these offerings come out, if I do happen to have money in my pen account, it's not safe in there. So yeah, it's like, watch out. So, okay. So as I did before, I kind of wanted to highlight a couple of my feelings so that it anchors where I'm at right now in this process of trying to reduce my spending and be really intentional about it and move forward in the hobby, not acquiring as much. So the first thing that I noticed is I do feel calmer. I think that the 3 months of not spending really, really helped me. And I jotted down, I have less wanting. I'm spending less time just kind of wanting things, and that was uncomfortable. There was always something more I was wanting. And so I enjoy not having that going on. And, a lot of times that's at the price of not watching quite as many fountain pen videos, and not really opening emails. So I'm not keeping up on the latest anything, really. I do, it's interesting though, the really important stuff trickles its way to us. And I'm glad that I found out about, the Pilot ink that I really didn't want to be without. I'm glad I found out about it just in time, or that I took action just in time, because it's proven that I just run right through that ink. I almost always have it inked up in a TWSBI. So, or something else. So then the second feeling that I'm having right now, I do have a little bit of pride. I feel a little bit proud that I did do 3 months. I wish I'd done 4, but I did the 3, and I learned a lot, and I feel good. I was thinking about it when I first started doing intermittent fasting with food. I didn't know where I was going to end up. I started with 16 hours. I remember shaking and being very watching the clock. Is it time to eat yet? So these things require practice. They really do. And of course it's different when I'm talking about metabolics and eating and food and everything. But it is kind of the brain. It's the same brain. I have to live with the same brain. So it's very similar in a way. It's a muscle. It's a habit that's being built. And so I don't know really what the ultimate thing is for having a no-buy window. I think definitely for me, every January, February, March, and probably April, because I tend to travel in May, that's an excellent time for me to be totally non-focused on any acquiring whatsoever, books or hobby. So, okay, so the third feeling that I could identify when I sat down to think about this is joy. I'm finding more joy in writing letters. And I just feel like it's been more fulfilling. I'm spending more time on that than I am looking into products or watching reviews and things like that. And it's just a much, it feels like a better contribution or a better use of my time. And I've also journaled more. And yeah, I wrote down here, it's more fun to actually write than it is to be chasing more pens and inks. At least that's been my experience. I felt really good. So although I don't feel bad that I broke the fast or broke the no-buy and got some things that I will use for a long time to come, I can definitely say that during that 3-month period, it's kind of like I feel when I'm fasting. Like right now, I'm fasting and my window's probably going to be about 20 to 21 hours fasting. And I feel really good this morning. In fact, let's see. Oh, I've already been 20 hours. So that explains it. Because whenever I go between 20 and 23 hours, I feel really good. Like I just have more energy, and I've had my water, and I had a lot of aches and pains this morning, but I'll talk about that when I get to the chatty part, as if this isn't chatty. But okay, so those are the feelings part. Now, okay, so next I jotted down, well, what's next? How do I go about this? And I wrote down, in terms of buying, I'm limited right now to my ad revenue money. I'm not getting a pen allowance from our budget or anything like that. It's all going to the extra expense of how much everything costs for the cats and for us, and and trying to rebuild our savings after putting a new roof on and all of that. So I kind of don't have that much fear of distraction, and there's nothing really on my radar. In fact, Manuel already ordered my pen for Christmas, and that's cool, and I'm excited about that, but I'm not looking at it. I'm not using it or seeing it. So I'll show you that when Christmas comes. And, so then after that, I thought, well, what are my goals? Because I always feel like if we look ahead a little, and also if we formulate even a general goal, it seems to go better. So the first one is to stay in a place where I'm truly using what I have, where I am, exploring all my samples, which I really had a good time doing in August. That was wonderful. And I need another month like that, because then, and I've been saying I needed a month to do just Birmingham inks, but I think I just have to kind of smatter around the different brands and colors and contributors so that, I get to revisit some of the ones that have been here longer too, the inks. But I'm looking forward to having another month like that. I'm not sure when, but I'm definitely going to do it. So, I've been exploring the samples and using up the paper, trying out paper and trying more combinations. So, so I guess ultimately then at the end of the sentence I wrote down, to avoid the constant wanting. I don't like that. That's not comfortable. It's just like being hungry is not comfortable. And fasting has helped me greatly turn down the hunger for food. And that is just wonderful. That switch needs to be turned off. When I was younger, I thought that the answer was 3 meals and 2 snacks. But that was the answer, all right. That was a good recipe for diabetes and for type 2 diabetes, which is kind of how it went for my grandmother in her later years. So I definitely have that family history to look out for. And, it boggles my mind that going 20 hours, I feel less hungry than I did when I was going, 2 hours. I mean, it is really something. They just don't tell you that in the mainstream information about nutrition and eating and diet. But yeah, it's something I had to learn all on my own. And so as I try to relate those things, because it's been one of the most successful areas of my life. Not perfect. I'm not perfect. And right now I'm sitting on 4 pounds that I need to get rid of. I think being so inactive over the last few days, and I just got on the scale and I was mad. I said, oh no. But I'm the type that's always outside doing weeding and mowing, and it's driving me banana nut to look in my backyard. And also Manuel's kind of like, he doesn't want me to hire anybody, so he went out and did the front and did the neighbor's yard. And I was like, kind of hovering like a mother hen, because his doctor has said no more mowing. And he got around that by saying, well, the weed eater doesn't bother my breathing at all, so, you know, I do the weed eater. But now he's mowing because I'm not mowing, and it's growing like crazy. But oh my goodness, how did I get off? I got off down on a dark alley or whatever. But yeah, so I was talking about weight and oh my gosh. Okay, I'm sure it relates somehow, but let's move on. So now I have a whole bunch of additional topics that's where we kind of shift away from the pen fast, and I just get to talk about some things that are interesting floating around in my mind. And the first one I wanted to talk about was my hobby, my fountain pen hobby journal. And I really have been enjoying this. It's probably going to like be blinding. It's the, let's see, it's a Binderwerk. I wrote it, Binderwerk from Germany. It's a purist black notebook. Let's see. I had the little paper in the back of it. This came from Pen Friend MS, and I've been using it. It's lined, and it's wonderful. And what I've really been enjoying with this is I write things in my wish list, and then I close it right up. I don't look at it. I don't look at it very often at all. But it's just my way of saying to myself, okay, I don't want to forget this. But I know that when I look back on it, there's going to be a bunch of stuff I can either line through or say, oh, well, I don't want that anymore. And so that's been really good. The other thing I do, I track the ad revenue. So like I have when I get a check, and then, you know, I total it up, and that'll help at tax time. And it also kind of helps see what's trending or what's going on. And then video ideas, I got a list of those. Oh, this is my wish list. And I think I showed this once before, but this is my Christmas pen, the Benu Euphoria. I cut that out of I think it was Gold Spot. That's actually where Manuel had me order it from too. So I've got a bunch of things on there, but I try not to really look at it. I think the time to look at that is when I am in a buying window. So I'm not really in a buying window right now. I just closed that again. So here we go. And then, of course, I have notes in here. And then the one thing, let's see. I'm not going by my actual notes because I wanted to, the notebook is fantastic. It's really fountain pen friendly, and that's been wonderful. Let's see. Yeah, very fountain pen friendly. And, you know, once again, I guess that's a little bit repetitive, but the notebook makes me feel like I won't miss out because I won't forget. And then one of the other things I noticed was I'm not used to having this notebook, so I was keeping a list of everything I've purchased this year. This is the first time I've done this. I really, really went into this year wanting to understand my patterns at least. The same way I do when I write down what I eat. I find patterns. I see what I typically do. And even like what's going on, because you can look back on the calendar and see, you know, what day and time was this that I felt I needed to order. Same thing with eating. Like I put the time and I put the date, and I have a nice record. So I'm going to migrate my purchase list over into that journal, because this journal is going to be with me years. I mean, I could tell that I'm not going to fill it up fast. But as I get used to not dumping those things in my bullet journal or my ink journal, because my ink journal is really just about testing out inks. I'm glad I started the notebook, and I really think that it's going to show me over time and be kind of a companion for the hobby. So I'm really happy about that. Okay, so next was a kind of a question and answer. I've had a lot of people ask me this year if I was going to do or purchase a Diamine Ink Event 2024. And no, I'd already decided not to purchase. And then I had a wonderful offer from a pen friend that has offered to send me samples. And I have sent them I'm going to keep her anonymous because, you know, goodness, I didn't ask and anything. And maybe eventually I'll be able to say. But I sent them the, you know, the vials and some supplies and some inky things so that at least they won't have that expense. And it's wonderful. I actually will still be able to explore the inks, and I'll make the double set of tiles, so I have one to send over to Matt for the website for inkswatch.com, which is growing and growing, and it's very exciting. And And then I will do each ink in my ink journal kind of the way I did for August. I'm not going to worry as much about, you know, the timing on how I go about that, but I will eventually share it with you in a flip through and talk about the inks. And because I enjoy doing that, and I think it kind of, it reinforces it for me, and then anybody who does want to see it. There's plenty of people who cover it though, so I won't be the Johnny on the spot each day with it. But I like to go. I like to do like a nice spread where I can see all of them at once, and I can then get my old ones out and compare and see what they've done. And then this year I learned that Colorverse is also doing one, but when I saw the price tag, I almost fainted. And we can't have that. No more falling. So, yeah, I felt it was out of my budget. I couldn't justify it this year because of, like I said, recovering from doing the roof and the air conditioner last year, and just the price of everything being so high. So, and then, okay, next up, the next topic is Pen Pal report. And as I said before, I'm finding my letter writing more fun. Spending more quality time with it, I think, helps. And the book, The Gift of a Letter, let's see, I'm looking around for it. It's here. That was just so inspiring. It made me get out of my own head and think about what the letter can mean to someone else. Not every letter is going to be maybe great, but some will be, and some will be timed good. And I have had just enough people say, wow, that was so nice. I was feeling down and I got a letter, so from you. So that's cool. And I put down directly, I believe that less distractions have resulted in more consistent letter writing. I'm not willing to say that I'm always going to be fast like that, but I have been a little faster. I don't think I've seen a whole month go by as often between letters. And sometimes I was seeing that. I was just unable to catch up, with no really good reason. So, and then I jotted down my first purchase each time with ad money is stamps. And they've had some really pretty ones coming out. It's been nice that there have been some new ones. And I wrote, as I write this, I have 3 letters right now in my reply pile, which feels good. Like it's not none and it's not, 9, so it doesn't feel overwhelming. That's nice. Haven't gotten the mail yet for today, so. Oh, and then I have a goal in that area too, because I was thinking, how can I build in little small goals that would help make the hobby more, make me more likely to move in the right direction when I do look for new things or when I am in a buying window. So my goal is to obtain more shareable things, to have like stickers and what I can add into my Pen Pal letters. It's not my strength. It really isn't. I get so confused, about what I've already sent people, and it would be a massive undertaking for me to really keep that good a record. So it needs to be kind of a, here and there, little new panels of stickers or something like that. And I know I can do it. I just need to focus on that because I enjoy receiving those things. I just feel really guilty sometimes if I don't have, anything to include. And sometimes I like to include just either index card samples or whatever I do have, or the little strips from Wearing Gold where you can paint, So I enjoy that, and I've done a little bit of that, but I want to do better with that. Okay, so then the next part that I wanted to talk about was I wanted to talk about the pen fast in general, or the no-buy. I wanted to just sort of let myself ramble on that for a few minutes because that was a nice experiment. It was 3 months. It was supposed to be 4, but I'd already gone 1 month when I started, and I was actually going to do a 3 month. So it would have been 4 if I had gone all the way through September 30th. And I didn't. So I jotted down that it's really different when my funds are low to begin with. I really think that it might be more challenging for me when I'm just financially built up really good. And isn't that something? Because I tend to think of it differently. I tend to think that, not to say that I cast judgment, but I think, oh, some people just, they have more money and they always have money, so it must be easier for them. I don't think it is. I actually, after this 3-month experience, I'm thinking, it may have been easier for me because there were times when I really didn't have spendable pen money to use. So where's the challenge in that, right? The challenge was just in feeling good and moving on with what I have, and my mission of writing letters and things like that, feeling good about it. Which, not to say that's always easy, but it certainly wasn't difficult to not spend when I didn't have any money. And it's a little sporadic, the checks that come in from the ad revenue, and I think, at least once this year, one time, the channel generated enough for a Google AdSense payment in just 1 month, which was like, whoa, But I'm thinking about this too, because there's an option where you can dial it up and have them not send you the payment, the disbursement, until you get to a set number. Like you could put it for $200 or $250 or even $500. Well, that's not something I've ever tried to do. I think I'm sort of more of a hand to mouth or hand to ink kind of person. But it's something to think about, because if I'm telling myself I can't afford that pen, but maybe I could if I adjusted the ad revenue to not come to me until it got to a certain point. That's kind of neat, huh? I don't remember how you do it, but I remember seeing it before and kind of laughing, thinking $100 seems kind of like a high bar to me, but that may be a little bit of scarcity thinking on my part. So anyway, I feel like it was a success, and I also am glad that I didn't totally deprive myself of the things that were not available for a long time, and then there it came, and I'm happy to have those things. I'm glad that I didn't just wait till it sold out again, and then there's the money sitting there and me without the product that I like. So it wasn't drastic. I just bought 2 packages of the cards. I didn't try to hoard a million of them or anything. I think they come in 100, so I got 200 really good cards, so index cards. Although I already sent out, I think 8, so for friends to try out. Yeah, so I guess that's pretty much all I had to say about that. And next time will probably be different, because it seems like every time I try to adjust my eating fasts, like when I do the OMADs on purpose, that's 1 meal a day, where I do that, it sort of shifts things around a little, and you're looking for more quality in your food, and you're looking for getting all your vitamins and stuff. And that's kind of the way it is with the pen hobby. Like if I'm only going to buy every so often, and if I only have limited funds, then I really want to get things that are good quality, that I'm going to use. That's not just because I'm bored and I'm scrolling and I'm trying to get anything that I can afford, which has been a little bit. It's been a little bit of a truth in the past. So I kind of like the idea of teaching myself to be more discriminating about it. So now we're at the off-topic part, but I still wrote down a couple things so that I wouldn't just go completely off the rails. Or maybe I will, I don't know. So I had that fall I wrote down 11 days ago, so I'm gonna believe it. That's approximately 11 days ago. And the recovery from that hasn't been linear. It's been very weird, because what I think happened is the main injury was kind of bruising on the side of my rib cage, and then as soon as that started to get a little better, oh boy, then I was aware of the bruise on my knee, and little by little, then I realized, oh my goodness, I even took a picture of the bruise on my upper thigh. Daniel said, good heavens. And I said, I think I landed the hardest there. So emerging were all these other symptoms, and I've just been so careful not to fall. Again, with not flying animals, but animals that run really fast under your feet, if you've got 1 foot up, you can lose your balance. I'm training myself to put both feet down and wait when I hear the little mini elephant coming from behind me. They may be 12 pounds or 16 pounds or whatever, but they're like little missiles when they're moving. So And I can't blame a cat for the fall that I had. But I am getting better. It's just that yesterday I went and I got my my flu shot and my new COVID shot. And so this morning I woke up and I felt like 90 years old. And I felt a little bit better after my shower, but my arm, I could barely lift it. The flu one is fine. I could do anything on that, with that arm. But for some reason, my right arm, which is the one I depend on, is sore and cranky, and I had to take Tylenol. Good heavens. But I'm glad because, you know, I do a lot with going to the doctor appointments with family members, and I don't want to have a high risk factor for spreading it around our little group, which we're all, you know, older and stuff. And I'm the youngest, I think, in our little group. So, but that doesn't say much. Oh my God. Okay. So next is books. I haven't quite finished the Antoinette Zettelkasten book, and I'm dying to do it, but it's a heavy book, and I haven't really felt like, I think in my chair with a pillow and all that, but where I like to work on that book, I haven't felt like holding it up because, you know, I didn't want to put any stress at all on my rib cage where it's still kind of healing. But I am really excited about being able to talk more about that one. And then, let's see, I've got 2 other books. I'm rereading 1984 by George Orwell. And this time it just, for some reason, things are just jumping out at me like it's even more pertinent, relevant, and scary. But so I'm kind of reading it really slow this time. The other time I just tore right through it. Oh, and I see my other book is, I've got to kind of lunge forward to get that one. Okay, so the other one is a much smaller book. It's called Soul Cards. And this is one that is about using index cards and a little system that this Haley Renee has written about for doing IFS, which is Internal Family Systems. I think, yeah, that's what it stands for. And again, now there's no excuse for this, is nice and light, and I've read it all, but I have the practical application to really work on and try out before I can really talk about how it's working for me. So that's an interesting one. I had it over there with the gift of a letter. I think as mad scientist as this room is, it kind of makes sense to me, and I've got it all where I can find and approach my projects pretty easily. Okay, the last thing I wrote down was waiting for fall, watching storms, dreaming of dry, cool Chamber of Commerce days. Yeah, winter in South Texas can be really nice, like really nice, and we're not there yet. It's still hot. And in fact, this morning I changed the filter and I put the vinegar down the little clean out drain, and I always kind of put the temperature up a little higher so that it won't come on while I'm labeling the filter and you know, kind of cleaning and dusting around the edges and cleaning off the grill. Well, I walked away and forgot and left it on 80, and all of a sudden I realized, I'm hot, you know, so I had to go back and reset it. Yeah, because it was just real steamy this morning, and it's been steamy. But we've had a lot of rain, which breaks up the worst of the heat. And then we've had storms that were very strange, but our pressure system seems to keep them out of our area. But I'm just really praying for the people that are in line for this one that's going on right now. It just looked kind of scary, and it's traumatizing no matter where it hits, because you kind of are aware of what they're going through, having been through past ones where we lost power and all of that kind of thing and lost all of our food, or, you know, we made every effort to grill everything and share it in the neighborhood and use it, but we still would lose food and things like that. So I think now I could be getting off the rails here, but I enjoy these. And as long as I'm still getting like a feedback that people are interested and like it, then I'm going to continue doing the pen fast. I just dropped the word fast and just put pen chat. But if anybody has any ideas what I should call it, I came up with a really good name last night while I was not sleeping, trying to sleep. And it was Pen Gossip. But then when I went to look it up, there was actually a channel named Pen Gossip. I don't think it's about fountain pens. but I just really like it because, you know, there's another channel that I watch that's Coffee Clatch, and I think it means coffee and gossip or something like that. So I thought, pen gossip, you know, that would be cool. But then, I don't know, gossip might have kind of a negative connotation to it. It doesn't, that's not really me. So I'm looking for, I mean, we can call it pen chat, but there might be something else. I mean, there's no limit to the creativity that I see in the comment section. And so if you think of anything that we could call it where it's enough of an umbrella for when I am in a pen fast or a no-buy, and when I'm not, just the topics that kind of come up that are fun to discuss. Like I can picture someone, you know, with their headphones and they're just listening to me talk, and they're cleaning house or doing some chore, you know. So I like it because I like that kind of thing. I really go for being able to listen to sort of a longer format. If it's a subject that interests me, I might not even write anything down, but I might get ideas that come back to me later. So that's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to, you know, talk about what is on my mind and stuff with these particular ones. And next, I guess it'll be Chris's ink pens, because I've already started to look at, there were so many inks I wanted to try, and I limited it to 8 for the longer, you know, for the letter writing. And then I did all 30 of the samples that I had pulled out. But I've started a new tray now. So I've got about 12 or 13 that I've pulled out that are going to be the next time. But before that, I can try them out. I can have those as at least some of my October inks. And let's see, I had Noodler's Purple came in, and so that's going to be one I'm going to ink up for October. I've never tried Noodler's Purple before. And you know, I went through all my samples thinking, it seems like I have, but I think it was Purple Mountain Majesties, and that's a little bit different. It's not quite a kindergarten purple. So I'm actually just trying to gather, you know, which pens I'm going to use, and boy, am I using a lot of TWSBI Ecos right now. I have more broad nibs on them, and I think that's what's doing it. So it's, you know, I'm really excited about everything I'm writing with. Every day I write pens dry right now. So I could tell I'm poised pretty good for October, because I'm going to have to go to the sink and wash some of them out that are just super sheeny, and they're not going to make it if I let them sit and everything, and they're almost gone. And so I finished one yesterday, just very abruptly. The Krishna Moon View just ran right out. And but that one wasn't giving me any hard starts. I was really amazed. That's an old sample. So being like, whatever, 7 years old and really sheeny, I was surprised that it didn't, you know, hard start or give me any trouble. And that was just in a Lamy Vista. So, okay, 42 minutes. I'm going to let you go now. And please, let's meet in the comments, and we will talk about whatever you want to talk about. And then next month, I'll do another one of these, because I like doing it. And I think that there's enough people that have said they enjoy it. So that's what we'll do. And take care, stay safe, and be happy. Bye for now.